I am Vinod Kumar Datusliya. I am 2013 mechanical gate topper, and today I am here to discuss and to guide you about the strategies which you should be following while preparing for the gate. So this is a session which will be helping you as in telling you what all things you need, what all things you need to study, and how you should prepare about it. So currently I am working in GE, that is General Electric, that is a company which is spread in many domains, spread across many domains, and I am working as a engineer in thermal system designs for designing the aircraft engines. So most of the engines which you see today flying, those are designed by GE, almost 65% of the commercial engines. And I am working over there as thermal system design engineer. I completed my master's from Indian Institute of Science in 2015, July 2015, and joined GE. I was GATE 2013 topper, and for that I prepared almost a year for the GATE. So on the agenda we have my success story, how did I prepare for the GATE, how TGA helped me in securing the rank GAT 1, then when should you start preparing for the GATE, then only if 6 months are left, how should you plan your studies. Next will be what you should be doing in the last month, that is what do's and don'ts you must follow before 1 month of the GATE, advices for the day, and then some of the reference books which you should be studying, which are in fact good for the preparation, and how GATE Academy can help you in this one. And in the last we'll be having certain questions from you, which you, if you feel like, I can answer those questions. So let's get started. My success story, as I already told you, I am working in GE as a thermal system design engineer. I did my master's in 2013 from Indian Institute of Science. I secured GATE rank 1 in 2013. Also, I secured rank 4 in engineering services exam. Through that, I got Indian Railways, but I didn't join because I was interested in doing some research work, and I enjoy my job that is currently I am working on. So I love it, and I don't want to lose it, so I didn't join engineering services exam. I was also ranked 3 in ISRO exam. Unfortunately, I could not join ISRO because at that time I was doing my masters, and I asked ISRO to extend my joining, but they didn't. So I could not join it, though ISRO is one of the best institutions to work for. Before doing all these things, I was an engineer in Anglo-Eastern Shipping Management. That is, I used to be an engineer on board the ships, which generally carries a lot of cargo from countries to countries. I did my graduation in 2009, and after that, around for three and a half years, I worked for shipping companies. Moving on, I'll tell you how I used my 6-7 months for preparing for the GATE. Actually, I started preparing for the GATE in month of some May or so. So I had around 6 to 7 months, and I did rigorous study, like studying 10 to 12 hours daily. It was on a regular basis. I didn't even take a break like Saturday, Sunday, nothing. I was fully concentrating on my studies. I was fully concentrating on the GATE, which I had in mind that I should be studying in Indian Institute of Science, that is the premier institute of India for masters. I tried to concentrate more on basics. As you start studying the things, as you go along, there are certain ways in which you should be studying. So the basics are the thing which builds your strength. So if your basics are good, you'll be able to tackle all the questions, almost all the questions which are being asked in the GATE. GATE is a good exam which the paper is generally designed by either ISC or IIT, that is the most of the time. So the concepts which they ask for, those are really good. So they will always ask for the concepts, not whatever the caliber that you have. They will assess your caliber only in through the concept as how much you know, how deep you know about your subject. So I would say that that is the first and foremost thing which you should be concentrating on to crack your gate. That is, your concept should be very good. Then the second thing which comes after studying is your revisions. So once you have studied a subject, say you took 20 to 25 days to finish the subject, then after finishing this subject, maybe probably if you go and search for the learning curve, if I give you something and I tell you that for how many days can you remember this thing. So if you go and check, there are certain surveys which are done. So they say that within 15 days you will forget half of it. So when you are studying, when you have studied a subject, it's certain that in around 2 weeks you'll forget half of the things. So to keep those things remembered, like if you want to remember them for always, the best thing is to revise them, and to revise them within 15 days. So if you have studied a subject now, or if you have studied something, so I was going with the preparation for the GATE. So the next thing is regular revision. So as I told you, it should be within 15 days. Your first revision should always be within 15 days of your finishing your subject. So if I say that, and as everyone know that you cannot finish a subject in 15 to 20 days or maybe 5 days. So let's say you are completing your subject in 15 days. What about the thing which you studied just maybe 2 days ago? After 15 days, you are bound to forget that thing. So if by the time you finish your subject and then again you take 15 days, it's like you have already forgotten those things. So 15 days from your studies, whatever be your routine, you should always revise your subjects, or you should always revise whatever you have studied after 15 days of your studying that thing. Okay? And I would say for GATE, you should have at least 2 to 3 revisions, full revisions for the book. Like if you have studied one subject, before going for exam, you should have revised it by thrice. That is what I had followed. Minimum was 3 for me and maximum was somewhere around 7 for me. So for some subjects, I did almost 7 revisions. Okay, moving on. The next thing which is very important is solving numericals. So once you have studied it, the numerical should also be solved, because that is the thing that is going to give you the confidence as what you have studied, and it will test you the theory which you have studied. So if you are good at theory but you are not good at numericals, then probably you are not good at anything. Because everybody knows theory, but its application should always be done. So if you cannot apply your theory into the things, it will not work out. So it's better that you solve numericals, because it will also give you an idea as what type of questions can be asked, and it will also help you in building your skills about the subject. The next important thing which I did is I revised everything from the book. I never made my notes, because it's a habit that everybody makes note while they are studying. So the first thing that happens when you make notes is you already narrow down the things which you are writing in your notebook. So if there are 10 things in a book, probably you will miss 2, 3, and then you will have only 6 to 7 things which you have in your notebook. While revising from the notebook, it might happen that you will not come across all those 6. You will not even remember all those things. So probably you will remember 5 things as you have revised. So out of 10 things, you only know 5 things, or you are good at 5 things. Rest 5 things you don't have any grip on. So if there is a question which comes from those 5 areas, you will not be able to tackle it. So I always followed the revisions from the book. I never made notes and never studied from the notebooks. The next thing which comes in the importance is the test series. So once you have studied the subject, then you have done the regular revisions also, then you have solved the numericals also. Then comes the test series. Test series is something which will make your temperament as if you are sitting in an exam. So whenever you take a test series, the temperament should be built that how you should tackle those questions in those 3 hours. When you are writing or when you are taking an exam, when you are sitting on the home, probably it will have the impact that you are very comfortable with it and then you can write it clearly. But once you are sitting in an exam hall, there are a lot of pressures, there are a lot of disturbances which are there. So probably somebody is coming, somebody is going out, and then there are a lot of 30 people or 40 people, those who are sitting along with you in the exam, and they are also writing. Probably you have a chance over seeing what they are writing, and you see their facial expressions and all those. So all those things make a good impact on your mind as whether you should be positive about it or you are negative about it. So whenever you go to an exam hall, there is altogether a different experience than when you are writing something or when you are appearing for an exam at home. So you should always practice some test series, like take 1 or 2 test series which are good, which will help you build your temperament for the exam. And it will also help you improvise on those 3 hours as how you should prepare for those exams, which all questions to be tackled first, and then what your strategy should be. Next thing is what I did was, whichever the topics which are not very clear or which are very tough, which probably very few can tackle it or very few can understand it, I did lot of discussions with my friends, those who were good. So I used to discuss a lot of things about this, the topics and how these things have been derived, how the application of those things are. And if we didn't understand anything, then we would go to the teacher and we would ask him. The teacher would sometimes qualify, sometimes clarify the doubt, and then probably we are good at it. In the last month or in the last 2 months, I attempted approximately 30 to 35 papers as if I am sitting in an exam hall. So I would take my watch, I would close my room, and then I would take the exam for 3 hours, like 10 to 1. It was my regular routine to write an exam from 10 to 1 and then go for lunch and then check those questions after 1 o'clock and then see what is my score and where I am lacking. So wherever the things which I didn't or I did wrongly, I attempted wrongly, I would go and again take the textbook and then I'll see what the concept was and why did I make the mistake, where the confusion was and which things led me to do that mistake. So approximately in those 30 papers, I got a confidence that which all questions I should attempt in the GATE, what my strategy should be, and how should I proceed. So that was what I had followed in my preparation for the GATE. Next is how the GATE Academy helped me in securing GATE Rank 1. So I was watching e-lectures which were provided by the GATE Academy. Those were good. Actually, those are the lectures which you can watch anywhere when you feel free, or if you have a doubt on that concept, probably you can again go and watch the lectures and then you can clarify the doubt. So I would say e-lectures are the best thing because it gives you a flexibility as how whenever you can watch it or whatever, if you miss anything in it, that also will be clarified again. The next thing which I did was use their test series, which was really good. It also helped me in building that temperament which I have already explained. Next thing which comes about the GATE is when should one start preparing for the GATE. So as you all must be aware about it, GATE is the common exam which is being conducted by the IITs, and almost all the PSUs are recruiting through the GATE. So those students who are there in 3rd year or 4th year, those who are not studying in a good college or where the placement scenario is not very good, probably you are the best candidate for the GATE, because those students, they will have something in mind that they should go for higher studies and then they can make their future in some of the best things. Like after doing your masters, you have a lot of scope about what your career should be and where you should concentrate your energy on. So I would say start as soon as possible for the GATE. If you are in 2nd year or 3rd year, that's the best time to start for the GATE, because it will give you a lot of flexibility about your timings. When you are in a college or when you are in a third year, probably you can get 3 or 4 hours of the time which you can concentrate on the studies about the GATE. So apart from your regular studies, like concentrating on your basic subjects or which are going in the college, apart from your regular routine, probably everybody has 4 or 5 hours left in the college where you can utilize this for the GATE. And let me tell you very frankly, if you start doing it early, it will be very good in the later stage, because by the time you finish your 4th year, you will get a good IIT or IIC, which your aim should be. Then directly you can go for the masters after your bachelor's, and then you don't have to waste some time searching for the jobs or anything like that. So I'd say start whether in 2nd year or 3rd year, but certainly by 3rd year you should start it if you are in a college. If you are not in a college, you have already graduated, it's the best time that you start if you want to do it. So whenever you feel it that you should prepare for the GATE, just start it that time. I would say minimum 4 to 5 months will be required for your preparation for the GATE, because there are around 13 to 14 subjects in all the stream. Minimum 13 to 14 subjects which are there, and those subjects, if you give 15 days for a subject, there are certain subjects which would take 20, maybe 25 days. There are certain which could take 5 to 10 days only, because those are easy subjects or very limited topics are there in that subject which are relevant to the GATE. So probably it will take minimum 4 to 5 months. So start as soon as possible. Minimum 4 to 5 months are required. Best time is your 3rd year to start the preparation. You should devote, if you are in a 3rd year or in a 2nd year, you should devote at least 4 to 5 hours regularly, because that is what is going to maintain your pace, and then probably you would keep remembering the things. There is one more thing that is very important apart from these studies. GATE asks only questions or the topics which are being taught in the graduation. So I would say apart from doing GATE studies also, you should take your lectures seriously which are being taught in the college, because there are certain professors who are really good, and those you can leverage those experience over there for your studies, and you can have a better understanding of the subjects if you study seriously those lectures. The best time is the 4th year to crack the exam, because that is when you don't have to worry about anything. You will directly get the admission in master's program, and then you can enjoy your life. How to prepare for GATE in 4 to 6 months. So next thing which comes up is how you should prepare it. Now once you know you have to prepare for GATE, second thing is you have decided that when you should prepare for it. Now comes the thing as how should you prepare in 4 to 6 months. So as I already told you in my success story, that the best thing is to concentrate on the basics. So start preparing for the GATE by studying subjects of your choice. So there are maybe 13 to 14 subjects. So try picking those subjects which you are really good at. So once you have those subjects, you will have a good command over those subjects. You will enjoy your studies. So the first and foremost hurdle about studying would be clear, because those subjects would be very easy as you like them, and it would be easy to go into get a rhythm about the preparation. So I would say whichever the subject which you like it, start preparing with this subject. Then make a master plan of it. How you would be proceeding in those next 5 to 7 months or maybe 1 year. You should have a plan over it, that for this next month I'll finish those 2 subjects, for the next month I'll finish those 3 subjects, then the next month I'll finish these 3, and by 4th month I'll be finishing all course. Then the next month I'll be taking papers and all those, or probably the revision, complete revision about it. Then the next month I'll be taking papers, and then the next is my GATE exam. So you should always have a plan. If you go according to the plan, it will be very easy and convenient for you to keep studying. Next is stick to plan. If you have made a plan, I would say stick to plan. Like whenever you are making a plan, it should be reasonable one. it should not be like any subject which is very lengthy, you should give very less time about it. Say a subject which demands around 25 days, you are giving only 5 days. In those 5 days, you will not be able to study about that subject. Probably you are going to waste those 5 days. So while preparing a plan, it should be very reasonable timing for those subjects. Revise every day. Next thing which I told you apart from your studies is revision. So whenever you start it, next week or after that week, you should always revise that subject or in fact that topic. So whatever good thing that you have studied, you should always highlight in your book. And then while again going for the revision, probably you'll get an idea as, yeah, this is thing which I studied, this is the thing which I should remember because this is a good concept. Apart from revision, you should solve numericals. So whenever you have studied something, after that you should start solving those numericals. So once you are solving those numericals, you will get a good idea as what is there in that subject and how it's going. So if you have solved numericals, you will be good at thinking, or you will be good at solving those things which are being asked in the GATE. The next thing which will come up is take a test series to assess your preparation. Test series will help you in assessing your preparation as how much you know and how you should have or how you should proceed about your studies in the remaining time, maybe 3 months or 4 months, how you should plan. So if you have taken a test series and if you have appeared for 2-3 papers, so probably by that time you must have completed half of your syllabus. So you should be able to score at least 40 to 45 in that region if you are really interested in cracking the GATE. If you are not able to score 40 to 45, that means you have not studied those subjects nicely. It's better that you be conversant with those subjects because you have already devoted a lot of time about it. Next is revise in last month and solve numericals also. So in the last month also, I would say revise your subjects and solve numericals. Do's and don'ts in 1 month prior to the GATE exam. So what should be your strategy in last 1 month? Because this is the most important 1 month which can decide you being within the toppers or you being out of the list. So the most difficult part is the managing time in last minutes of the exam. So for the GATE, since it's 1 year exam, the last minute is nothing but the last month. So the preparation in your last month will decide what your aim or what your score will be. So I would say in last 1 month, don't start any new subject. Try to revise those subjects which you have already studied because you have already devoted your time and you should study those subjects or you should revise those subjects. Try to solve 15 to 20 papers, like 1 paper doing every day. It will improve your knowledge about the theory because you'll be solving the numericals. It will help building your temperament while you are sitting for the exam. Then it will also help in assessing yourself as where you are making the mistake in those topics. In the last 1 month, try to solve maximum numericals which are possible. Don't try to solve numericals which you already know or which are very easy, because those numericals are not going to be there in the exam. So if you know a concept about some topic, don't try to solve those topics. Try to solve numericals which you don't know or on the topics which you don't have a good grip on. So try to solve numericals as much as possible. Increase your study timing by maybe 12 to 14 hours. That is what you can always devote in the last month. If you are studying for 8 to 9 hours or 10 hours 5 months before the exam, it's fine. But in the last month, you should always ramp up your study rate, and then you should have minimum 12 to 14 hours of studies every day. Don't study any new subject until all is revised. Stick to plan and revise more. Also, so most of the scenarios what we have appeared in the exam, so probably almost every one of you have appeared in one or more than one of the exams. So if I would ask you, what was what was your schedule before appearing for the exam, and what was your schedule on the day of exam? Like whatever we all, everybody of us, almost everybody of us, what we do is we love to study in the night. So probably we study till 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, and this is our regular routine. But on that exam date, we don't study on that last day. We try to sleep, we don't get the sleep because our regular routine is studying till 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock or whatever may be the timing. And then when you are sitting for the exam, you are feeling sleepy. You are not even, you haven't had proper rest. So your mind won't be able to function properly. And almost every one of us must have faced this situation. So to improve on this situation, I would say make a routine so that whatever you are going to follow, whatever your day is going to be on the exam day, the same day should be followed prior to 1 month. Like going to sleep at 10 o'clock, getting early at 6 o'clock or maybe 7 o'clock, and then studying in the morning, and then following the same routine which you would follow on the exam day. Don't waste time. In this 1 month, if you try to waste some time, it will be like 4 or 5 times of whatever the time which you could have wasted earlier. So the last 1 month is very important. Don't waste your time. Synchronize your energy and try to solve maximum numericals possible and revise as much as you can. Apart from all these studies, you should always have time for relaxing your mind, because if you don't relax your mind, it won't be free and you won't have ideas coming up in your mind. So always have 1 or 2 hours for relaxing, like going out for a walk or hanging out with friends, whatever it makes you happy. So you should always relax your mind about that also. Moving on, the best important thing, advice to the GATE aspirants. So what is it that makes a GATE topper different from the other students? Or what is it that the first ranker did and the one who didn't qualify for the exam did differently? The only thing is your confidence. A topper would always say that yes, I can do it, and that is what I will do it. And those who cannot clear the exam, they think is this is not my game, or probably I'll not be able to do it. So the moment you think that you will not be able to do it, you will not be able to do it. So don't underestimate yourself. You can always do it. I would say you can always do it. Everybody can do it. Everybody can be a topper. You have to start thinking about it. You have to start thinking in that way which can make you a topper. So every one of you can do it. Don't think that you cannot do it, and never let negativity stand between you and your thoughts or your aim. If you have negativity standing, probably somewhere down the line you will lose the strings, and then whatever the effort which you have put in, those will be all gone. So never let negative thoughts come in your mind. Even if you have not studied everything, it's very simple that you don't have to score 100 out of 100 to get a good rank. If you score 75 to 80 probably, that is the best score in getting whatever you want. You will get an admission in IITs in the best branch probably. You can get whatever the PSU which you like. So I would say it's not that you should score always 100. Aim for 100, but whatever above 75 is very good. So even if you are not able to solve some of the questions in test series, or even if you are not getting a good score in the test series, it's better that you improve on the areas which you are lacking, not that you leave whatever you have studied for the exam and then you don't appear for the exam. So in my first test series and second test series which I was appearing, it was way in month of October, 3 months before the exam. So I got somewhere around 16 or 17 in my first paper and around 28 in my second paper. I was very, very sad about the performance in those papers. But then it gave me a real picture as where do I stand. So then I improved on this and whatever the areas which I was lacking, and then I worked hard for it. The next thing is study hard and synchronize your energy. Everybody has lot of energy, probably we don't synchronize it or we don't use in a proper way to get the success. So I would say if you are concentrating on studies, concentrate on studies, don't think about anything else. Let go all other feelings which are coming in your mind, like using Facebooks and all social networking site, hanging with friends, hanging out with friends and all those. So let go all those things and synchronize your energy only on studies and then study hard. The next thing is keep calm, make a schedule and stick to it. If you have made a master plan, stick to it. Make a schedule so that how those 24 hours of a day you are going to utilize it. 6 to 8 hours for sleeping, 4 to 5 hours for other things, maybe 10 hours for studies. So that is what your plan should be, and stick to it. Always follow it. I don't say you should always study for 10 hours only or minimum 10 hours. If you are good at it, probably you will finish it in 5 hours or 6 hours also. If you are not good at it, probably you will take 14 hours also. So it depends on your how much effort you need to put in. And all of us are different from each other. So there is not a single statement which is applicable to all of us. Somebody might get a good rank while studying only for 4 hours or 5 hours, or somebody might not even get qualified when he is studying for 14 hours. So it depends on us. You should know your strength and you should know your weakness. The next thing which comes is study books which are good and solve numericals. So take some standard reference book for that subject. If there is a one book which is really good about the foreign author, or some Indian author book is there which is good, start reading it and then try to assess the book in the first chapter whether you are understanding those concepts or not. There is no point in studying a book which you are not understanding. If you don't understand a book in first chapter, probably you will not understand it in the rest of the chapters. So if you are understanding a book, or if you are very confident about the way he is explaining the things in a chapter 1, then probably you can proceed with studying the book. Ask your friends, ask your teachers, Google some of the best books which are available and then try to study those. Next things which comes up in my mind is don't revise from notes, as what I have already told you, because notes will narrow down your learning. Notes will always have fewer things than which are there in the book. There might be some concepts which are there in the book, but probably you are not able to note it down in the book, or you didn't understand while you were preparing the notes. So those concepts probably you can understand it when you are revising it again. So I would say always revise from the book. Have time for enjoyment also. That is what I told you. Keep your minds relaxed. The next set is what books should GATE aspirants refer to. So this is very important section in your GATE preparation. You should always read a book which is appropriate for the exam. There are enormous number of books available in the market about that subject, but the one which is relevant for you is very important, that you should study that book only. So there is a list of reference books which are available, which are provided, or a list has been compiled by the GATE Academy, and you can go on this link. The link which is given below, the gateacademy.com, GATE reference books. So if you open that link, you will be redirected to this page. Can everybody see it? Okay, so here all the books are listed down for all the streams. So these are some of the really good books which are available in the market, and you can ask about their reviews also. You can study, Google your reviews about these books, and then you can refer whichever you like it. There are certain books which are really basic, and there are certain books which are really advanced. So this is a list which says the books which are helpful for the GATE. It doesn't say that the questions will be asked from these books. So this is a list of the books which will have the concept about that subject, but it's not necessary that the questions will be from these books only. So, and try to read a book which you feel easy to be easy in reading, because if you don't understand, if there are certain set of books which are really good books probably, but you will not understand it at this point of time. In your undergraduation, there are certain concepts which you don't understand. So try to go for a book which is very easy to read or easy to grasp, and then go for it. You should also have books which has good set of numericals in it, because it will help you in the GATE. Moving on, how the GATE Academy can help you in achieving your goal, that is GATE. So there are certain series of lectures or materials which are provided by the GATE Academy. First is the homeGATE, and then is the homeGATE is basically an e-lecture series which you can take the exam of, which you can take the lectures online. The next is classroom program, which is going in the class and then doing the courses. The next thing is USB GATE. These are the lectures, set of lectures or probably e-lectures which you can carry along with you whenever you feel free. You can study about those. And there are certain other programs which the GATE Academy has, and you can go to this catalog page where all the list of courses are highlighted, and you can choose whichever you feel free. Next coming is the question and answer sessions. So going through all this, whatever I have told you, you must have got a lot of questions which you feel are worth asking for. So I'll take up some of the questions which are already asked. So there are certain generic questions which have been asked, like what are the reference books which we should study, and what are the best books. So I would say that the link which I have, which was displayed on the screen, that has a set of books. It's not that these books are the only books which you should study. You should always have a one book which is very good at theory and numericals, and apart from that you can study other books also for getting a better understanding about the subject. So there is nothing like which is the best book which I should study. There are certain sets of books which are there which are good. So you should in your stream you should try searching for the books which are good. Probably I am in a mechanical stream, so I can tell you about the mechanical only, but there are other students also. So go through this link and then try to search for the books which are good. Try to ask your professors or friends or those who have already studied the book about the reviews of the book, and then you should concentrate on those books. So the next question is asked by Venkatesh. He asked whether I should be good at basics or... So he has asked whether I should be good at basics or I should have a deep understanding of the subject, and about the advanced topics also. So the first thing which is being asked in the GATE is how good you are at your concepts. So if you see a paper or if you see any of the papers, you will see that there are certain areas, like 25% of the areas which are concentrating only on the basics. The rest 25% are those which are checking your knowledge about that subject. Then probably next 10% are there which will test your in-depth knowledge about that subject. So if you see the question paper of the GATE, it will always have a set of questions which are very basics, set of questions which are little tough. Those who have studied also, they are only able to do it. And there are certain sets of questions which are only those students will be able to do it, those who have got into the depth about that subject. So if you have studied 3-4 books and you are master of it, then only you will be able to attempt those 2-3 questions which are always there in the GATE exam. So I would say that try to have a good understanding of your concepts, basics, then try to devote more time in solving numericals. So basics will be very easy. You will not have you will not take much time to study those topics, but then you have to practice to be master at those topics. So you should devote your time in solving the numerical. So I would say 50% of your time should be devoted in practicing the theory which you have done, or practicing the numericals for the gate. So Thomas has asked about how did I keep away from the distractions. So Thomas, I would say that everybody has distractions in the life. So, but those distractions are only created by us only. So, if you think that you are using WhatsApp or you are using Facebook, if you won't be online for 1 hour, you start feeling like you are not online. What is it that is more important for you in that time? Whether using those getting online on those Facebook and WhatsApp is more important, or studying about this gate is more important. So it's your decision. What all things you need in your life and what all things you don't need in your life. I don't say that you should not enjoy or you should not refresh in your mind. You can always have 1 hour or 2 hours for your Facebook, WhatsApp, or social media, or anything, whatever you feel like having. You can go for playing football also, playing cricket also. If it's easing your mind, that is what you should do. But keep it in mind that you should also study about 10 or whatever the time which you feel it's comfortable for you. So keep in mind that you have to crack the gate, and to crack the gate there are maybe probably 10 lakh students, those who are appearing every year, and there are 4 to 5 toppers which you see. So to be among those 4 to 5 people, you should really work hard, because there are other people who are working very hard. So to get a topper, you need lot of energy, lot of permutation combinations are there, which can take you to that post. So probably you should synchronize your energy and keep away from the distraction, thinking in mind that you have to crack it. Somebody has asked about the online test series, whether one test series is enough. I would say that the first thing which improves your understanding about the subject is the numericals which you are solving. So numericals which you are solving is like a test series. If you take previous year papers, or there are certain sample papers which have been published earlier also, or there are regular sample papers you will find in the market. So try to solve those papers. If you are solving those papers and you are confident in those papers, then probably there is no need to take a test series. But test series will help you in assessing your grip at the subject. So I would say one is enough, but you should always have more than one, because it can happen that in a subject somebody who has designed a test series, he has a different perspective apart from whatever the gate is asking. Or it can always happen that gate would ask certain difficult question from that subject, and the test series was designed only at a moderate level, so probably you would miss the opportunity. So if you have one test series, that is fine. If you have 2 or more than 2, it would be better. There are certain questions regarding PSU also, whether we should join PSU or we should join IIT and ISC. So the decision depends on you. PSU is nothing but it gives you a job security, it will give you a job, and then you'll start working in a PSU, and then you'll earn some money, which is probably sufficient for sustaining your life. But if your aim is different, like doing research or working for a company which is really cool in designing things like Google, Apple, or maybe GE, those Rolls, Mercedes-Benz, there are certain companies which are really good and they are really doing good research over there. So if you are interested in doing research and if you like doing those good engineering stuff, probably you should go for IITs or ISC. And if you think that you should be working only in a company where you want a job only, nothing else, then probably PSUs are a good option for you, because PSUs gives a stability in life. it pays you well, and then it has all the facilities which are required for a good life. Harsha has asked about whether self-study is good or a group study is good for us. I would say group study is very good for the studies because you have a lot of doubts which you can always clarify with your friends, and then you can study. But the best thing which I would say is doing the self-study apart from doing little bit of good group studies, because in group studies sometimes you divert from your concentration, and then you are bound to waste some of the time in topics which you already are good at, or which will not help you in your gate. There are whenever we are in a group, we always divert from our studies and then take the topic somewhere else. We discuss something else which is not relevant. So I would say self studies are better, but you should always have a group study, or you should always have a group of students who are really dedicated to crack the gate, and then you discuss your things whenever you need, there is a requirement for it. So if you see, there are around 5 complete months which you have for the preparation. So if you have studied a little bit about your courses in your college, or if you are studying in the college and you have a better understanding of the subject, it's a good time that you start preparing for the gate, because it's never late. You don't know yourself where you stand among those 10 lakh students. So I would say whenever you feel, you should always start the gate preparation. It's never late to start a preparation, because nobody knows what your strengths are. It might happen that in those 2-3 months time only you are able to master the subjects, or you are able to study the subjects because you have already studied hard in the college. So probably in 2-3 months time also you can prepare for the gate. So it's never late to start a preparation for the gate. Whenever you feel you should start a preparation, always start it, and don't think that you will not get it, because the worst thing that can happen is you not getting a good rank or not qualifying in the exam. But still, for the next year exam 2018, you will have a good base because you have already studied 4-5 months now. So it's good that you start preparation now also. Kishore has asked whether, if I am not able to understand some concepts while I am reading the book, should I leave the topic or do something with the friends or discuss something with others? Never leave a topic which you have studied and which you don't understand. There are certain topics which are really tough. I would say if nobody knows about it, then leave it. But there are topics which you don't understand, but there are certain people who understand it. Ask your friends, ask your teacher. If you have a doubt about some subject or some topic, just go and get it clarified and practice some numericals on that doubt, because it might happen that that same doubt or same doubt will be having a question in gate, and then you will feel it very good if you have practiced those numericals about that doubt, and then securing marks for it. Rajdeep has asked me about segregating the topics for ESC and GATE. So, Rajdeep, ESC has a broader course structures than the GATE. Whatever the topics which are there in the GATE, those are there in the ESC, but there are certain topics which are there in ESC which are not there in the GATE. So, if you are only preparing for the GATE, just go for the GATE subject. But if you are preparing for ESC and GATE both, because these both exams have around 90% of the syllabus which is common to both of these exams. So if you are appearing for GATE, it's a good possibility that you can secure a good rank in ESC also. So there are certain topics, very few topics which are there in the ESC and not in the GATE. Probably you can study in the time after your GATE exam, because after your GATE exam also ESC exams are in June, so you can study in the time which between these two exams for the topics which are not there in the GATE but they are there in the ESC. So Divya has asked me whether I should recommend about studying one subject at a time or take more than one subject and finish simultaneously. I would say don't take two, three subjects and then try to finish those subjects. I would say take a subject, take it and finish it in 10 to 15 days or whatever the time you think it will take for finishing that subject. Because whatever happen, see, our mindset is being made about one subject. Let's say we are studying mathematics. So when we are studying mathematics and then we are going for some other topic, heat transfer and then fluid dynamics, there will be three things which you are studying simultaneously, and your mind will not be concentrating fully on one subject. If you are studying mathematics only, your subconscious mind will also keep thinking about whatever the doubts which you got, and then it will try to find a solution for that. But if you are studying for more than one subject simultaneously, it will happen that your mind will not be able to concentrate properly on both the subjects, and in this process you will waste a lot of time. So I would say that study for one subject, finish it and then move on to next subject. Vishwas has asked me whether PSUs recruit directly from the colleges MTech students. No, actually PSUs recruit only BTech students, and that is through the GATE exam only. So if you are thinking that you want to go to a PSU after doing your masters, there is no scope for it because PSUs don't recruit it through the campus placements. They only recruit through the GATE. So there is one more question which is very generic one, is how to manage your time during examination. So in those 3 hours, those are very important hours because you have studied for 1 year, you have devoted your time, and then whatever the output which you are going to expect is from those 3 hours. So it's really important that you manage your time in those 3 hours. So I'll tell you what the strategy which I followed in those 3 hours and which I feel is or worked for me, and which I always follow while appearing for the exam is, in those 3 hours I'll try to sort out the questions which are really easy in the starting. So while appearing for the GATE exam, I try to solve the question paper from question 1, because from 1 to 25 questions, those are easy questions, 1 mark question. So those will keep me starting like I'll solve some questions which are very basic, and then I'll get a good confidence, and then probably I'll move on to the next questions, next set of questions, which are 2 marks questions, which are a little difficult. So I solved all 1 mark questions first. Then I tried solving the aptitude questions and other questions, English questions, which are also comparatively easier. Then I moved on to the 2 marks questions, which were a little bit tough. So while doing this thing, if I felt that one question is little difficult or little tough, which I might not solve it, I didn't stick to that question. I moved on, and then I tried to proceed in the way. The thing which happens in this procedure is you will not waste your time while you are stuck on one question. Probably there can be questions which are easier, which you could have attempted but could not, because you wasted a lot of time on 1 or 2 questions which were really tricky and you could not solve it. So I would say manage your time in thinking about how the questions are and how you should solve it. If there are questions which are tough, which you don't have a good grip on or which you don't have a confidence on, don't try to solve them in the starting. Keep them for the later part when you have solved all the question, or when you have at least tried all the questions once. The thing which happens is there might be certain concepts which you are not able to get it when you are solving for the first time, but your mind can click on the concepts which are there in the paper, and then while coming back to the question for the second round. So go for easy questions first, then go for the tougher questions, and keep some of the questions aside which you think are tough, and you will waste your time solving those. So Avinash has asked me about managing the time when you are in the last year of your graduation. I would say that whenever you are in the final year, you would be having a lot of burden about your projects, also about your college timings and all those. But you should be able to find 3-4 hours for the gate preparation, because that is the time you can always find. The classes are for 8 hours, and between those classes also you can find some time. Like there are breaks, or there are certain teachers who miss the classes, or those don't appear in the class. So you can use that time when you are in college for your gate studies. There is one more question about getting a seat if you score 40 to 50 marks in the exam. I would say it's little bit tough for getting a seat if you are scoring 40 to 50. I would say it's better if you score around 60. If you are above 60, then probably you will get a seat in IITs. I won't say a good seat in IIT, because IIT take a lot of students about the streams which are not very good. Not very good in the sense that the placement in those streams is not very good. So if you score something about above 60, you will get a seat in IIT. But if you score something about 75 or more than 75, then probably you are going to get a good seat in IIT, and then placements will also be good. Kishore has asked me about what about the state colleges. So state colleges, there are certain colleges which have good placements, but not for the masters. There are colleges which have good placement for the BTech students. But the problem with the masters is not everyone recruit masters student. Masters is a degree which is little bit overqualified for the normal companies which come for recruitment in the colleges. So there are certain set of companies which or those who are doing good research, they will only hire master student, because you need a specialization for doing some research in those areas. A graduate student is like very basic knowledge only. So those companies don't hire the graduates, they only hire the masters. But there are approximately 70 to 80% of the companies those who hire only BTechs, because they need a resource to work for them. They don't need specialization in certain areas, which you will be doing in masters for their work. Rajdeep has asked me whether we should stick to the syllabus which is there in the GATE, or we should study some extra topics. So I would say that if you have the time to study extra topics also, go and study, because it's not going to hamper anywhere. If you have a question, like I told you, there are certain set of questions which will always be there in an exam, which somebody who has studied deep into that subject will only be able to answer those questions. So in my experience, you should always study whatever you can. If you have time for studies, study more. If you still have some time left, study some other topics which are not there in the GATE syllabus also, because there can be certain concepts which can be clarified from other topics. There are certain interrelated topics are there which GATE syllabus might have one topic, but the other topic can help understand that topic. There is one more question from the Vijay about whether you should have experience before doing your masters, or you should appear directly for the GATE after your BTech. So there is not any specification where you say that if you have experience or the experienced students will only be taken for MTech. It's always better to have an experience before going for an advanced degree, but considering the placement scenarios, all or almost major of the companies hire only students who are freshers. They don't prefer taking students who have a previous experience about it. They have their own criteria about it, but I would say that if you want to do masters, if you are certain that you should do masters, then probably after your graduation is the right time to do it. Rohit has asked whether the questions are similar from the previous years or they are different. So Rohit, to answer your question, probably you can take 10 years paper and then you can see that what is the difference between the questions. I would say that GATE exam is very, it's conducted by IITs and IICs where people are really good at things. They are really good at research. So you won't find questions which are exactly the same in the paper. You will find the questions which are based on some certain topics, but you won't find a question which is similar in the exam and in some exam and then again in the same concept or same similar thing you are going to see in the next exam. So you can have questions on the concepts, but the questions will be altogether different. You will have, there are a lot of permutation and combination to design a question on a simple concept. So you'll always find, though the concepts will be same, but questions will be different. There is one question regarding what are the common mistakes that we do while we are appearing for the exam. So there are certain mistakes that everybody does it, and those are very common, and probably with experience you can reduce those mistakes and then you can improve on your efficiency. So negative marking is the first thing that almost every one of us does it. And the negative marking happens because of two things. Either you are not sure about your concept, or you are overconfident, or you are in a hurry to attempt a question. It might happen that you know the question, it's very easy, but still you attempted it in a wrong way because either you were in a hurry or you didn't have that temperament which is required for the exam. So always keep your mind calm. Try to think about what is the basic concept about it, and is there any related concept which is being used in this question apart from whatever I am thinking. So there can be a question which is very simple. Straight away you can write the answer equal to 5, maybe some answer equal to 5. But if you have little bit of knowledge about it, probably you'll see that 5 is the wrong answer. And in the GATE paper, this is the common mistake which almost everybody does it. Before marking an answer, you should always think twice whether this is the right answer, because there are a lot of related concepts which are there, which are asked in the exam. Rajdeep has asked me about whether it's necessary to solve all the solved and unsolved question in a book. It's not necessary that you solve all the questions which are there in a book. You should always pick some topics and then you should solve questions on those topics. A book might have 10 questions which are similar in a way. To increase the number of questions only, there are certain questions which are there in the book. So if you try solving all of these, you will waste time. So I would say that apart from solving only one question, you should think on the questions which are really good, or you should see questions which are really good, or which are different from the questions which are previously solved by you. So there is one question regarding 3 years of gap between bachelor's degree and now. So whether there will be a problem in future with the PSU job. So PSUs doesn't have a criteria where they say that you won't be hired if you have a gap after your graduation. The only requirement they have is you should be good at your GATE score, and then you should have the age limit. If you are within the age limit, then probably PSUs will hire you. Somebody has asked me about masters in Germany via GATE. So I'm not sure about which all colleges are offering the masters through GATE, but there are a certain universities which offer courses based on your GATE score. So if you have got a good GATE score, probably you can do your masters from other universities also. So I'm not sure about which all colleges they do offer, but there are certain colleges which are offering through GATE. So just try to Google in the colleges which are there, which take in the students based on your GATE score. NIS, NIOS, that is Singapore University. They do take it from GATE. Those who are within the first 5 students, they generally take it from the GATE. So if you have a rank within 5 or probably 10, you can apply for Singapore University. Divya has asked whether your previous experience will count for any campus placements after masters. Generally, they don't give preference to the students who has a previous experience. But if you have a relevant experience, like you were working in an automobile industry and then you have done your masters from automobile, and then again some company which is coming for the automobile or which is an automobile company, then probably you can get an edge over the students. But generally they don't take the students, or they don't prefer the students with an experience. They generally prefer the students with the fresh BTech and then the fresh masters. Rajdeep has asked about very specific topics or very specific question which appeared in one of the papers and then which is not there in the syllabus currently. So I would say that there are certain topics or there are certain questions which you will always find in an exam, which you will see only once. You don't see a question repeating after that exam. So you can always expect those questions in an exam, because those are the questions which very few would be able to attempt it. So don't lose your heart or don't try to master those questions. Try to concentrate more on the syllabus which is prescribed by the GATE. Atman has asked me about some patterns for revising subjects. So as I already told you, your revision should be done, like first revision should be done within 15 days of your studying the subjects. And then probably you can say after every 15 days or 1 month, you can revise your subject. So the pattern should be whatever the subject which you have studied, you should revise once in a 15 days and then the second revision within 1 month. The next is on your discretion as whatever you feel like. If you are comfortable in revising it in the next 15 days or 20 days, that's fine. But even if you are not able to revise it in 15 days because you will have lot of subjects to revise, probably you can shift this for 20 days or maybe 25 or 1 month. But it's all your decision whether to revise that subject or not, because it's your decision that will matter whether you should revise the subject or waste your time in revising a subject which you already know about it. Somebody has asked me whether we should study books also to crack the exam. It's absolutely necessary. It's never sufficient to concentrate yourself only on the notes or the material provided by the academy. You should always read books, and those books will help you in achieving a good rank in the IIT in the exam. Pushpendra has asked me about the study which he should do for GS, as it's required for engineering services exam apart from doing your GATE studies. So Pushpendra, I would say that you concentrate your effort only on one exam. If you think that you should appear for GATE also and then you should appear for ESC, you should have a plan about it, that till January you will study about GATE only, and then after January to June you can concentrate on your ESC. If you try to take both of these exams simultaneously, probably you will not get benefit of it. You will be working hard, but you will lose track over both of the exams. So I would say that concentrate fully on the GATE till you appear in the GATE, because it will improve a lot on your ESC part also, and then after January you can concentrate more on the GATE, more on the ESC. Rohit has asked whether he should take a drop again if he scores lesser marks than 50 or join any college. So it all depends on your whatever the thing which you want to achieve. If you think that if in the next exam you can score good marks and then you can get good IIT, and then your aim is to go and study in the IIT, then probably you can go for another drop. But if you think that you are an average student, and next year drop might not help, because there are certain cases where a student appear for a year and then in that also he is able to score only 40 or 50 marks. Then there is something lacking in the strategy or in the way you are preparing. So either you need to dig into what is the problem that is there as why you are not able to score good marks, or there is a difference in a way that you are studying and what is required for the exam. So it depends on you. It's all your decision whether you should again appear for the exam or take up some college and then start your masters. Rajdeep has again asked me that there are certain topics which are added in ESC, so whether you should concentrate more on conventional or study for objectives only. So Rajdeep, I would say that if you have time to study for conventional and objective both, study for it. But if you don't have time to study conventional about these newer topics, probably leave it. But you should take a call whether studying these subjects will fetch you good marks, or studying about or revising the other subjects will fetch you good marks. So it's your decision as how you should go for it. Kamal has asked me about which subjects to be perfect to have or to qualify in a GATE exam. So qualifying in a GATE exam should never be your motto, because qualifying won't get you anything. You should always aim for the top ranks in GATE, because that is where you have a flexibility in deciding where you want to go. So and there are not specific topics or specific subjects which can get you a good rank. So to get something above 80, it's like you are attempting your paper and then you are 80% efficient in it. So to attempt a question fully or to attempt for 100 marks, you need a thorough knowledge of all the subjects. So I would say that try to study all the subjects and try to be maximum efficient in all of these. Never leave a topic. None of the topic is important and none of the topic is like irrelevant. You can always expect a question from a topic in gate exam, because that is not predictable. You cannot predict anything about the gate exam. Vijay has asked me whether IITs conduct another set of tests for filling the MTechs after the GATE exam. So there is nothing like taking again a test for filling the seats. If you are appearing for GATE exam and then if you are appearing for IIT seats, then there won't be an exam. There are certain cases where they take your interview, like MSc program in ISC and different IITs. So they have some rules for that subject. So they might take an interview for that particular stream, but doing for masters or MTech, specifically MTech, they don't take any interview. That is purely on basis of your GATE score. Somebody has asked me whether PSU interview is different from your GATE syllabus or GATE course. Interviews in PSU are very light interviews. They won't give much preference to your interview. Most of the PSUs, they have a criteria of around 70 to 85% of your GATE score, and then 10 to 15% or 20% of weightage on your interview. So interviews are not very stringent. They don't ask a lot of things. They will try to ask some of the basic questions which are already there in the GATE exam. If you are having an experience, probably they can ask you from your previous experience. Avinash has asked me whether I cracked the GATE exam in 4th year or after my graduation. So, Avinash, in my case, I graduated from my college in 2009, but appeared for the GATE exam in 2013. This was because I was working somewhere else. I was working on board ships, so I didn't appear for that exam, and I appeared for exam in 2013, and in that year only I got GATE rank 1. Vijay has asked whether you should practice more fill-in blank questions or multiple answer question. So if you see the pattern of the GATE, there are certain questions like fill-in blanks, or those questions are basically numerical questions. So to score a good rank, you should be good at both of these, multiple choice question as well as the conventional question. So whenever you are attempting your numerical questions, try to find a value first instead of looking at the options which are available in the multiple choice question. So whenever you solve a question or the previous year questions, try to find a value which will match. Then go for the answer. Somebody has asked whether you should solve GATE and EAC previous year questions only. So I would say that if that is the key only, then probably everybody would get a good rank, because there are 20 years of GATE questions and 20 years of EAC questions. So those 20 years of question can get you an idea as what the paper would be like, but it would it would not have questions which are there in those papers. So you should study the concept, you should study the books, and then solve the numericals, and then only you will be able to get an idea as what the exam is. Rishabh has asked about any specific suggestions for maths and general aptitude. So I would say that maths and general aptitude are very easy topics. They are very scoring topics, very highly scoring. So you should devote your time about maths and aptitude. But at the same time, these are not very topics which carry a lot of weightage. So you should not waste your time on studying about these subjects also. Probably 15 to 20 days for each of these would suffice. Nihir has asked whether somebody can crack in 6 months. Yes, I'm standing in front of you. I did it in 6 months. Shubham has asked, he has a color blindness, whether he will get any PSU, DRDO or ISRO. I'm not sure about the PSUs, but DRDO has a regulation about not being color blind. So I don't think DRDO would recruit you, but I think PSUs, they don't take any visibility test. Nitin has asked about the stipend, whether state colleges give stipend. Yes, there are. If there are government colleges in the state, then they do give stipend. But the private colleges, they don't give the stipend. So there are certain responses regarding the reference book link. So it's being displayed on the screen. Probably you can get the reference books from this page, the link which is provided here. So Kamal has asked about whether is there any particular material for cracking the gate. So Kamal, to your answer, there is no particular material that can cover almost all the topics in a gate. So as I already told, gate is very unpredictable. So you never know where you are going to get a question from. So you should always concentrate on going after the concepts and then try to read as many topics in a book as possible. Nitin has asked about which all topics should be concentrated more on. He's a mechanical engineer, so not to answer his question only, I would say it's relevant for all of the aspirants. Don't try to go for only specific topics, because there can be certain questions on particular topics, but not all of the questions. So if you study the whole book, then only you will be able to attempt the whole paper. So don't concentrate on studying only particular topics. Try to read as much as possible and try to master as much as possible. Rishabh has asked about any suggestions on petroleum gate aspirants. So Rishabh, I don't have much idea on your stream, but you can always Google it, or you can go to the site, the IIT site, which is conducting the GATE 2017, and then you can get the relevant information from there. Try to study your subjects and try to master your subjects, because that is the area from where they are going to ask it. Abhishek has asked how can he get confidence after finishing the syllabus. So confidence you'll only get when you start solving the questions and then you start scoring in them. So if you start solving the question and if you are scoring or if you are attempting those correct, you will get a confidence that which is required for the gate. So start solving the questions and try to reduce your mistakes and try to concentrate more on scoring part. Preetham has asked how much he should score to get a call from PSU. So anything above 75 would be a good score. Above 75, you will get almost call from all the PSUs. Nijantan has asked how to know what the strengths are or what is my strength. So Nijantan, to tell you about this, there are certain key areas which can determine your strength, like what you are really good at, what you like. So if there is something that you are really good at and which you like the most, probably you will spend a lot of time in it. So try to find the areas where you spend lot of time, or the things which you enjoy doing most. Those are your key strengths, or which you are really good at. Pushpendra has asked that he has taken 2 years gap before going for graduation after 12th. Will that affect the interview when he is appearing? So Pushpendra, I would say that it's not going to hamper your interview, because whatever you have scored in your gate, that is the first and foremost criteria for getting a seat or getting a hired. So don't lose heart. That is not going to hamper your interview. Try to impress the interviewer by your knowledge. Somebody has asked whether degree percentage is necessary for the gate. So I don't think in gate they have the minimum percentage criteria for appearing in the gate or for getting a seat in IITs. But certain PSUs has limit of something 6.5 CGPA, or you can have their criteria which is required. So if you are having a lower percentage in your graduation, probably before applying you should think what are their basic educational qualification requirements are. There are certain colleges which also like through AIEEE through this one NITs, if you are getting a rank or if you are getting a seat in NIT, I think you should have a minimum percentile before you can apply for NITs. Shubham has asked me how to remember stuff as you go along with your next subject. So, Shubham, I would say that before you forget the subject which you have studied, at least revise once or twice, because after revising only you will remember the subject. So, if you really want to master the subject, after studying, revise for I think twice within a month of studying the subject. Binduja has asked me as how I managed my time for studying and then practicing the problem and revising. So Binduja, as I used to study, I would study for 4 to 5 hours on the newer topic which I have to study. Then on those topics only on the same day, I would practice numerical questions for around 2 to 3 hours, and then I would again give 2 to 3 hours for my revision. That was my regular timing. But in the starting, as I was not having anything to revise, I was giving revision times for studies also. So in the starting, it's like 5 to 6 hours for studies and then 3 to 4 hours for numericals. But as I go along, I reduce the time of studies to around 4 hours or 5 hours, and then included 2 3 hours for revision also. Rajdeep has asked me whether during the last time revision should you study about the formula or should you study theory along with it. So Rajdeep, when you are studying the subject for the first time, you will study everything in the subject. But when you are doing the revisions like first revision and second revisions, you will know the theory. What is the theory behind that subject or behind that topic? So while doing those revisions, you need to learn what all things which you have forgotten. So whatever the theory which you already know, you don't have to revise it, or you don't have to study that theory again. So when you are going for the final for the exam in the last month or second last month, I would say that if you have studied or if you have revised your subjects well, probably you don't need much time to revise that subject. Because whenever I did the revision in my last time, it would take only one day to revise a subject, because I knew each and everything in that subject, and whatever I need to see was what the formulas were and where those concepts can be used. As I have solved a lot of questions also, so I knew what are the types of questions which can be generated from that topic, and then what are the solutions to it. So if you have revised your subject well, probably you won't require much time, and you will feel it that you need to revise only your formulas, not all the theory and subject. Pritish has asked whether it's better to watch NPTEL videos for the GATE. So Pritish, if you have time for all these videos, probably you can watch it. Or if you have a doubt in a topic which nobody is able to clear it, then probably you can go for NPTEL lectures. But NPTEL lectures are very vast lectures. You would waste lot of time if you start watching them, and those are little advanced lectures also. So I would say that try to assess the situation as what all you need to watch on NPTEL and what all you need to study apart from that NPTEL for GATE. Hemant has asked that out of 65 questions, how many questions are direct formula based. So probably Hemant take a paper, one or two paper from the previous year GATE, and then try to see how much of those are directly the formula based. I won't say more than 10% are directly formula based, because GATE will always ask for the concepts, and they won't ask for the students, those who are good at mugging formulas. Amy has asked about from where you should solve questions apart from the previous year papers. So, Amy, there are a lot of questions which are there in the book, and those are the best source for practicing numerical questions. So I would say that it's better to do questions from book. You can keep previous year question paper for your revision purpose, or to building a temperament in the last or second last month when you are appearing for those question papers. So probably keep those previous year question papers for solving, to see how much you get in the exam, how much you are getting in those previous year exam papers. Uh, Nijandan has asked whether test series, online test series are good, or we can practice from the practice book test series. So as the paper is online, I would say that it's better that you appear for the online test series, because that will be like a live exam for you, or it will give you the same feeling as you are appearing for the GATE exam. So online test series are good, but for practice you can have test series at your home also. Like those papers, previous year papers, those you can take at the home also. Rishabh has asked whether AIEEE and IIT questions are good for GATE. Rishabh, IIT and AIEEE questions are only for the 12th class students. Those are not for the graduate students. So they won't be there. Probably in a paper, in a GATE paper, you can find 1 or 2 mark questions which are only based on 12th. Rest 98 to 99% it will be based on your graduation. Rajdeep has asked whether we should study every subject thoroughly, or we should study after introspecting the previous year trends. Rajdeep, it's always better that you have an understanding as what are the types of questions which are being asked in the GATE. But it's never advisable that you practice your questions based on whatever it has been asked in the GATE. There are certain topics, or there are certain questions, set of questions which are new, which they have not asked in the GATE, and probably they can get it from there. Simultaneously, you don't have to go too deep into a subject like doing a research in it. Try to manage your time, and try to devote your time so that you are able to solve 90 to 95% of the questions which are there in the paper. Vipulan has asked about my GATE score. My GATE score was 1000 in 2013. Hemant has asked if you have not studied the theory about a subject or about a topic, whether you can go and solve the numericals if you don't have time. So Hemant, I would say that if you truly don't understand the theory, probably you would make a mistake in solving the numericals. So it's always better that you have understanding of the theory, what the theory is, and then only appear for the numerical. And in the last minute, if you don't know the theory, then I would say that don't attempt the question until and unless you are 100% sure that this will be right. Balaji has asked me as how many revisions I had done before going for the GATE exam. So for almost all the subjects I did more than 3. In certain cases like thermal, fluid, and these subjects I did quite like 5 to 6 times, because those were the subjects which I studied in the starting. So number of revisions increased for those subjects. Rishabh has asked whether MTech is only for research. I would say it's not, because there are many companies who are hiring through MTech, and it's not necessary that you are going to do research after your MTech. Research is for the students who enroll for PhD. Research is also a very very good field where you can go and explore yourself and the new things. But it's not necessary that MTech is only for research. There are topics which you don't have knowledge about when you are studying in graduation. But when you go to MTech, there are certain ways in which you will get a better understanding of that subject or the particular topic which you are going to do, and then you have a better scope for working in the companies. Somebody has asked me about the validity of GATE score for PSU job. I think it's only 1 year. I'm not sure about it. But DRDO is hiring with the previous year GATE score also. So generally it's a 1 year for the PSUs, but you can check out the criteria. Preetham has asked me about the scenario of placements after MTech. So in most of the IITs and ISC, and also in most of the NITs also, the placement scenarios are not as lucrative as you see for a BTech student in IIT. So almost all the BTech student in IITs have a job in hand while they are in their 4th year, but that is not the case for the master's student, because as I told you earlier, there are very few companies who hire master's student, but there are almost all the companies who hire BTech students. So the placement scenarios are not very lucrative, but if you are good, if you really want to do research, or if you are really interested in MTech, then probably you can get a good placement in IITs or ISC also. There are like in my batch in ISC, almost everyone is placed. So the scenario is good, but at the same time, it's not as good as it could be or it is for BTech students. Somebody has asked me whether what is good, GRE or GATE. So if you think that you should do your masters from outside and any foreign university, and if you have a good background, like you are good at studies, you are a university topper, and then you have some research publications also, I would say that GRE is the best option, because while appearing for the interviews or while applying for the foreign universities for MS after GRE, they will ask you for the number of publications and then your background, research background, and then your academics. So if you are really good at your academics and you have certain publications also, I would say GRE is the best thing. Otherwise, you can go for GATE. Pushpendra has asked me about what is the qualification required to be a professor in state engineering colleges. So private universities, and if you see most of the private universities, they have teachers which are mostly masters or GATE from India, but NITs and IITs would certainly have a postdoctorate either from outside or from India. So I think, guys, that is what is the most of the questions I have tried to answer. If you still have the questions, probably you can reach out to the GATE Academy, or you can reach out to me also. I would try to solve your questions and help you. Thank you. Thanks for your time.